lecture exposing a modern theory of ether, author Thierry Delors, date 12th August 2017. Please be indulgent with my English and with my French accent. In this lecture, I'm going to present as simply as possible a theory that I discovered and that I named Modern Theory of Ether. At the end of the lecture, I will give the references permitting to get the modern theory of ethers complete with all details of calculation. What is modern theory of ether? Before answering to this question, I'm going to make a brief historical of the theory of relativity. The beginning of this historical is exposed on plate 2. So I install plate 2. Before the apparition of relativity theory, physicists admitted the existence of a medium filling all the space, defining the absolute rest and named ether. According to the pre-relativistic theory, light and electromagnetic waves propagated at a constant velocity c relative to the ether. Nonetheless, two physicists, Michelson and Morley, proposed and realized an experiment that should have permitted to obtain the velocity of the Earth relative to the ether. Indeed, if v is the velocity of the Earth relative to the ether, the velocity of light in the Galilean frame linked to Earth is not equal to c, and the Michelson and Morley experiment measuring the velocity of light in the Galilean frame linked to the Earth should have obtained the velocity of the Earth relative to the ether, if the pre-relativistic theory was true. I illustrated the Michelson and Morley experiment on the figure 1 of plate 2. A monochromatic luminous ray is emitted from point A towards point B. In point B, it divides in two luminous rays on the two branches BD and BC. Then enters back to point B and finally returns to point A. We then obtain in A some interferences which, according to the pre-relativistic theory, vary if we modified the position of the device named interferometer. This device is named interferometer. The variation of those interferences observed in A should have permitted to obtain the velocity of the Earth relative to the ether. But Michelson and Morley obtained non-variation of interferences. All happened as if the Earth was always at rest in the ether, which was impossible. The Einstein proposed a theory, the special relativity, in order to explain the negative result of this experiment. This theory was founded on the following principle written on plate 2 here. The physical laws can be expressed the same way in all the inertial frames. A consequence of this principle, named principle of relativity, was that the velocity of light was the same in all the inertial frames, and in particular in the inertial frame linked to the Earth, and therefore it explains the negative result of Michelson and Morley's experiment. Many experiments by thought have been proposed as being paradoxes contradicting relativity theory, the most famous being the paradox named Paradox of the Twins of Langevin. Langevin was a physicist. But generally, those paradoxes are only bad application and comprehension of relativity theory. Nonetheless, I discovered two experiments by thought that seem to be paradoxes and that have been the beginning of my theory. I will give the references permitting to get those paradoxes at the end of this lecture, but I will not use them in this lecture because experiments by source are not scientific proof. But the theory of ether that I finally obtained appeared to be an alternative to relativity theory and is confirmed by some observations in laboratory or astronomical, contradicting or unexplained by the relativity theory. Those observations will be exposed in the fourth section of this lecture. We will see that the modern theory of ether is very different from the pre-relativistic theory of ether. In this lecture, we will only expose the theory of ether without gravitation. It exists nonetheless a theory of ether with gravitation corresponding to general relativity. This theory is also very attractive, and we will give the references permitting to obtain it at the end of this lecture. This lecture will involve 5 sections in addition to its presentation written on plate 3. So I install plate 3. In the first section, we remind the basis of the special relativity. In the second section, we will expose the basis of the modern theory of ether. In the third section, we will expose the applications of the modern theory of ether and how it interprets successfully all the relativistic experiments up to date only interpreted by relativity theory. In the fourth section, I will expose the experiments and observations contradicting or non-interpreted by special relativity that are in agreement or interpreted by the modern theory of ether. In the fifth section, I will give a conclusion, and in the sixth section, the references of the publications permitting to obtain the modern theory of ether with all details of calculation. On plate 4, I'm going to remind the basis of special relativity. So I install plate 4. I remind the relativity principle written at the beginning of plate 4. The physical laws can be expressed the same way in all inertial frames. The consequence of this principle is to predict the transformations between two inertial frames. Let us consider, as on figure 2 of plate 4, two inertial frames R and R prime with as respective origin O and O prime, such that the axes of R and R prime are respectively parallel. The axis OX of R coincide with the axis O prime X prime of R prime. The velocity in vector of O prime measured in R is collinear to the axis OX of R and constant. At time of R, t equals 0 and time of R prime, t prime equals 0, 0, O and O prime coincide. We obtain then, because of the relativity principle between R and R prime, the following transformations named Lorentz transformation written on plate 4. Here. X prime equals x minus vt divided by squared c, all divided by square root of 1 minus squared of v divided by square root of c. Y prime equals y, z prime equals z, t prime equals t minus vx divided by squared c divided by square root of 1 minus square v divided by squared c. Those transformations have been discovered by the physicist Lorentz before the apparition of relativity. We will see that they are fundamental in the modern theory of ether as they were in relativity theory. All laws, other physical laws in agreement with the relativity principle and also with observations and experiments are written on plate 5. So I install plate 5. For a particle with mass m and a velocity in vector v, the relativity principle brings to admit that in any inertial frame, you have the equations written on the point 1 of plate 5. We can define the impulsion P of the particle and its energy E, setting gamma equals to 1 divided by square root of 1 minus square of V divided by square of C, equation 1. We have also the equation P equals gamma mv, equation 2, E equals gamma m squared C, equation 3. For V equals 0, we obtain gamma equals 1 and the famous equation E equals m squared C. And we have also the fundamental equation of dynamics that remains unchanged, as in the Newton law, sigma of F equals dP divided by dt. dP on dt. As it is written in the point 2 of plate 5, in particle physics and in quantum physics, we obtain many laws in agreement with the relativity principle. In electromagnetism, the physical laws called Maxwell's equations are also in agreement with the relativity principle. On plate 6, we are going to begin to expose the basis of the modern theory of ether. So I install plate 6. Install plate 6. The basis of the modern theory of ether. We have seen that relativity was based on a fundamental principle named the relativity principle. In the same way, the modern theory of ether is based on a fundamental principle named fundamental principle of the theory of ether, written at the beginning of plate 6, that is the following. It exists an ether, absolute fixed frame. The physical laws in this ether are such that they tend to prevent an observer to detect its own motion, meaning its velocity, relative to the ether. We remark that this fundamental principle defines the ether as a special frame and not as a substance, as it was the case in the pre-relativistic physics. We will see that some experiments permit to an observer to detect its motion and to obtain its velocity relative to the ether. The consequences of this principle are the following postulates. The first postulate being illustrated on the figure 3 of plate 6. Postulate 1 of contraction of length and times. Point A. If a rule is driven with a velocity v relative to the ether, it contracts in the direction of its motion from the same factor c of v given by the equation 1 of plate 6. Point B. If a clock is driven with a velocity v relative to the ether, the time that it measures contracts from factor c of v being given by the equation 1 of plate 6. On plate 7, we have written the second postulate, consequence of the fundamental principle of the theory of ether. So I install plate 7. The following postulate 2 written on plate 7 is then postulate of physical laws. It is a special postulate. It is a direct consequence of the fundamental principle of the theory of ether. It has the following expression. Generally, a law admitted by the relativity in all inertial frame that is in agreement with observation is true, expressed in the SR, absolute frame. The consequences of this postulate are written on the plate 7. For a particle with a mass m, and a velocity in vector v, the following equations are true expressed in the SR. We can define the impulsion P of the particle and its energy E, setting gamma equals to 1 divided by square root of 1 minus the square of V divided by square of C, equation 1. Then we have in the ether the following equations that are true. P equals gamma mv, equation 2. E equals gamma m squared C. The fundamental equation law of dynamics remain also true in SR. Sigma of F equals dP on dt. As written on the point 2 of plate 7, in electromagnetism, Maxwell's equations are true expressed in the SR. In the same way, the quasi-totality of physical laws verified experimentally and in agreement with the relativity principle are true expressed in the SR, in particular the conservation of the total impulsion and the total energy in particle collision. This is a consequence of the postulate 2 of physical laws. We are now going to expose the applications of the modern theory of ether that are the consequence of its basis exposed in the previous section. The first applications are exposed on plate 8, so I install plate 8. Applications of the modern theory of ether. The modern theory of ether permits to define some fundamental frames called Galilean frames. We remark that it exists different absolute frames because any frame at rest relative to an absolute fixed frame can also be considered as an absolute fixed frame. In what follows, the SR will be one among all the possible absolute fixed frames. A Galilean frame Rg is defined as follows. The axes of Rg are respectively parallel to the corresponding axis of the ether. The velocity of the origin O' of Rg in vector is constant measured in the ether. The times and distances in Rg are given by clocks and rules at rest in Rg, and are the same of the same nature of clocks and rules at rest in the ether, giving times and lengths in the ether. And the simultaneity in ether, absolute simultaneity, is equivalent to the simultaneity of a referential Galilean Rg. R being the ether, let us consider the case illustrated on plate 8 of a particular Galilean frame R', such that the axis OX of R coincide with the axis O'X' of R'. The velocity in vector of O', origin of R', is collinear to OX. T and T' being respectively the times of R and R', at T equal T' equals 0, O coincide with O'. Then, using the previously introduced postulate 1 of lengths and times, we obtain the following transformations between R and R' that we will name transformation SR Galilean or Tangalini transformations because the physicist Tangalini was the first to discover them. But they had not the same interpretation and were not obtained as in the modern theory of SR. They are written on plate 8 here. X' equals x minus vt divided by root squared of 1 minus squared v divided by squared c. Y' equals y, z' equals z, t' equals t, square root of 1 minus squared v divided by squared c. If we make a comparison between those transformations ether Galilean and the Lorentz transformation for an analogous case that we gave in the first section, we remark that only the transformation of the variable time is different. It is very interesting to define a frame R' such that the transformation between the Galilean frame R and R' are given by x second equals x prime, y second equals y prime, z second equals z prime, t second equals t prime minus vx prime divided by c. So R second is obtained delaying the clocks of R'. Then a rapid calculation shows that the transformations between the frame R second defined previously and the other R are exactly Lorentz transformations written on the plate 8. We will say that R second is the Lorentz frame associated to the Galilean frame R'. Using the Lorentz frame associated to a Galilean frame, we can easily prove the following fundamental theorem written on plate 9. So I install plate 9. The first theorem is written on plate 9. Theorem 1. In order to obtain in a Galilean frame the trajectory of particles or luminous rays, we can apply the same laws as the law admitted in special relativity. The second theorem is also written on plate 9. If A and B are two fixed points of a Galilean frame R', if a photon is emitted at a point RA, arrives at point B and returns to point A, its mean velocity is equal to c. Concerning the first theorem, in a Galilean frame, the classical laws concerning the trajectories of particles or photons are wrong. But we can show that because of the postulates of the modern theory of ether, we obtain a correct prediction. Theoretical prediction applying those classical laws in R'. We have an analogous remark concerning the second theorem. The velocity of the photon measured in the Galilean frame R' on the journey AB and on the journey BA is not equal to c, but the mean velocity is equal to c. As it is written on plate 9, we can generalize the previous theorem, obtaining that the modern theory of ether has the same theoretical predictions as the predictions of relativity concerning the experiments of particle physics, Doppler effects, including transversal of Doppler effect, piezo experiments, slowing down of clock in motion. So we obtain in the modern theory of ether the same theoretical predictions as relativity for the interpretation of the quasi-totality of the relativistic experiments. We are now going to expose the fourth section of our lecture that is probably the most remarkable. This first section is exposed on plate 10, so I install plate 10. The title of the fourth section is The Observations Contradicting or Unexplained by Special Relativity, but interpreted by or explained by the modern theory of ether. Those operations are of two different kinds: experiments in laboratory and astronomical observations. Indeed, quite recently, some laboratory experiments contradicting special relativity have been realized. The first kind of experiment is linked to quantum intrication and to EPR paradox. Let us recall the description of those experiments. A consequence of relativity theory and of its fundamental principle is that non-information can be transmitted at a velocity faster than the velocity of light. But according to quantum physics, it is possible to produce two photons called correlated photons that are linked whatever be the distance between them. The measure of one photon affects the same measure of the other one, whatever be the distance between them. This phenomenon is called quantum intrication. So if quantum physics is true, this implies that an information can be transmitted at a velocity superior to the velocity of the light. Therefore, the relativity theory and the quantum theory are in contradiction concerning quantum intrication. The physicists Einstein, Podolsky, and Rosen proposed an experiment permitting to know which theory was the good one, and this experiment is known under the name EPR paradox. Einstein was convinced that this experiment would confirm relativity theory and will invalidate the quantum theory. But in the 90s, a French physicist, Alain Aspect, realized this experiment, who has described the device on the figure 3 of plate 10. Two photons are emitted from a point O in two different directions, here and here. We make a measure on each photon, here and here, and we compare this result with the prediction of quantum theory. And the result of this experiment revealed to be in agreement with the theoretical prediction of quantum theory, and therefore contradicts special relativity because it implies that an information has been transmitted at a velocity superior to the velocity of light. Many similar experiments followed and improved the experiment of Alain Aspect, and all of them concluded in the validity of quantum theory. But in the modern theory of ethers that we expose in this lecture, there is no theoretical limit to the propagation of an information. Even an instantaneous transmission at distance of an information is possible. Therefore, the experiments linked to quantum introduction contradicting special relativity are in agreement with the modern theory of ether. It exists a second kind of laboratory experiments that cannot be interpreted by special relativity but that are interpreted by the modern theory of ether. They are described on plate 11. So I install plate 11. Since a very long time, physicists wondered if the neutrino, that is a very common particle, owns a mass. Very recently, in 2015, two physicists, Takaaki Kajita and Arthur McDonald, were awarded by the Nobel Prize for having proved that indeed the neutrino owned a mass. But presently, in particle physics, all the admitted laws are in agreement with the relativity principle, and all those laws concerning the neutrino admit that the neutrino has a negative helicity. The helicity is a variable for particles depending on their velocity and of their spin. But if the neutrinos have a mass, then their velocity is not equal to c, and therefore in some inertial frames they have a positive helicity. Consequently, not only the physical law the neutrinos have a negative helicity is not true in all inertial frames, but also all the physical laws assuming that the neutrino has a negative helicity are not true in all inertial frames. So this implies that the standard model of particles based on special relativity is wrong. Nonetheless, according to the modern theory of ether, not only the usual physical laws are not true expressed in all Galilean frames, but also they are not compulsorily true expressed in Lorentz frames associated to Galilean frames. Therefore, we can adapt the standard model of particles of the modern theory of ether, assuming that all its laws concerning neutrino are true expressed in the ether. Then the laws of the standard cosmological model relative to the neutrino are true in the quasi-totality of the Lorentz frames associated to the Galilean frames. As it is illustrated on figure 5 of plate 11, it is only on some Lorentz frames whose velocity to the ether is very close to c that the laws of the standard cosmological model relative to the neutrino are not valid. The adaptation of the standard model of particle, or of the modern theory of ether, the adaptation of the standard model of particles to the modern theory of ether is written on plate 11. The most numerous observations unexplained by the relativity theory and explained by the modern theory of ether belong to the field of astrophysics. They are summarized on plate 12. So I install plate 12. Indeed, the standard cosmological model based on relativity is unable to explain many astronomical observations, in particular those linked to dark matter and dark energy. But a complete theory of ether permitting to interpret all the astronomical observations linked to dark matter exists, and we will give in our last section the references permitting to obtain it. This theory of dark matter is based on a concept, a substance filling all the universe, that is analogous to the pre-relativistic concept of ether, and so this substance could be named dark substance or ether substance. This first point is the point A written on plate 12. The second point is that astronomical observations permit to define completely the ether. It is the point B written on plate 12. Indeed, some astronomical observations have proved the existence of a special frame in which a special radiation called cosmic microwave background and designated by CMB is isotropic. This special frame is not interpreted by relativity nor by the standard cosmological model. But it is of great importance in modern theory of ether because it is identified with the ether. This interpretation shows that according to the theory of ether, it is possible for an observer to detect its velocity relative to the ether. We remark that the existence of a special frame in which the CMB is isotropic not only is not interpreted by relativity theory, but also contradicts it because according to relativity theory, special inertial frames do not exist. A new cosmological model based on this special frame, that is the CMB rest frame, exists and is much more attractive than the standard cosmological model that is presently admitted by the majority of physicists. This new cosmological model belongs to a theory called theory of dark energy. I will give in the sixth section the references permitting to get the complete versions of the theory of dark matter and the theory of dark energy. So plate 13 presents conclusion. So I install plate 13. So we have presented a modern theory of ether permitting to interpret the whole of relativistic experiments that were up to date only interpreted by relativity theory. But the two theories present fundamental differences, the three first differences being written on plate 13. First difference is that according to the modern theory of ether, the physical laws have not the same expression in all Galilean frames that are frames in which we live, and not even compulsory in all the Lorentz frames associated to the Galilean frame. We have seen that this permits to modern theory of ether to interpret experiments in particle physics involving neutrinos, which is not the case of relativity theory. The second difference is that according to the modern theory of ether, the velocity of light is not the same in all Galilean frames. The third difference is that according to the modern theory of ether, it exists a very special frame, the ether, permitting to define Galilean frames, despite that according to relativity, special inner frames do not exist, because all inertial frames are equivalent according to relativity. We have seen that astronomical observations define completely the ether. So, the two last fundamental differences between the modern theory of ether and the relativity theory are written on plate 14. So I install plate 14. The fourth difference is that according to the modern theory of ether, instantaneous interactions at distance are possible, and in particular the instantaneous transmission of information, despite that according to special relativity, the velocity of a transmission of information must always be inferior to the velocity of light. So contrary to the theory of relativity, the modern theory of ether can interpret the paradox EPR. The fifth difference is that the modern theory of ether can be the basis of a new cosmological model permitting to interpret all the astronomical observations linked to dark matter and dark energy that are not interpreted by the standard cosmological model based on relativity theory. We are now going to give the references permitting to obtain the complete modern theory of ether. Those references are written on plate 15. So I install plate 15. The first version of the modern theory of ether has been published in the Review Physics essay in 2000. Nonetheless, this version contains mistakes and needs to be modified and improved. In the same way, a first version of the theory of ether with gravitation, needing improvements and modifications corresponding to the general relativity and not presented in this lecture, has also been published in the Review Physics essays. All publications in the Review Physics essays are in English, and the references of previous articles are written on plate 15. It does not presently a complete version of the modern theory of ether written in English, corresponding to the theory exposed in this lecture. But it exists a complete version of the modern theory of ether written in French. This complete version written in French can be found in the book Théorie d'or, 9e édition, author Thierry Delors, édition Books on Demand, Paris, 2017. Those references are written on plate 15. As indicated at point 3 of plate 15, we will find the new cosmological model based on the modern theory of ether in the article whose title is Theory of Dark Matter and Dark Energy on the websites of Open Archives Vixra